Today, I would like to introduce you to a brand new Bakugan fan project called Bakugan Ignition. So, this was a fan project created by Bunny Blast, who reached out to me a little while ago on Discord. We worked some things out, and it's finally here for me to present to you. So, this was created by Bunny Blast, and then the artist who, forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I will leave a link to all their socials down below in the description. But the artist is El Tefo Encliotefo? I think that's right. I'll leave everything down below. Check them out. Give them some love. They've put some fantastic work into what I'm about to show you all today. So, within this video, I want to first introduce you to a brand new Bakugan story, followed by the main 6 Bakugan characters, their Brawler Partners, and then we're going to end on just some really cool, neat concept art. The creators of this project wanted me to say that they hope by me sharing this all with you, maybe we could create some short stories or manga, even small animations using the best parts of all the different generations of Bakugan to create an entirely new Bakugan universe, Bakugan World, essentially. So without further ado, let's jump into Bakugan Ignition. Part 1, The World. As reference, I will be reading this off of a provided document/script. Most of the words are unchanged, but I did tweak a few things to make it flow better for clarification and narrational purposes. The person who wrote this, their main language is Spanish, not English, so there were a couple things I adjusted just for a English audience. But if you'd like to see the full document in its entirety, I will provide a link to that in the description as well. If I'm allowed, I'm not sure at the time of recording this, but all the information is going to be there if you want to get into it. But let's jump into it. Let's start with the World Vestroya. This time, Vestroia is unified, sort of like New Vestroya, rather than in Season 1 where it was all split apart. All the Bakugan there live in their own territory, a giant continent divided by factions, and each species of Bakugan work in different ways. Some might be feral and work like animals, others would have culture and live normally. They don't have technology, instead magic to aid the modernization of their world. Pyrus, the classic and one and only Pyrus, is the most simple out of all attributes. They live in forests of coal and obsidian, places that look dead and full of ash, but are actually full of life. Plants are able to grow out of the fertile soil the ash creates. This place is dark, but glimpses of light shines with fire and lava. The Bakugan here are not only fire-based, but also of ash, lava, and even plasma. Think of it as similar to a Dark Souls map, but the Bakugan are the ashen ones. Aquas. Most of the Bakugan world is covered by water, and this brings us to really weird and unseen creatures from all places. Strange, but fascinating nonetheless. Not only fish and water creatures, but also some mechanical and abyssal things. Expect some submechnophobia. They're not mechanical, just mechanical looking. Also, eldritch horrors beyond your comprehension. They are wild cards and flow in different ways, not unified like other attributes, but they're everywhere. Chaos. Chaos is now more than just light. They are holy. Very spiritual and more traditional, but also more medieval. They can be seen with complex, shining armors covering their bodies. They are knights fighting for the right cause, or at least they think so. In light, there is darkness, and some of them can be really Puritan, thinking the way of the light is the only way, and they trust their belief more than they trust the other factions. This concept is not only to create rightful characters, but also to make it deeper than something as simple as light. It's shiny, but that means it can also blind you. Subterra/Aurelus. Subterra is back, but now combined with Aurelus in an interesting way. They're the same faction, but in the middle of a civil war, fighting for the control of the Subterra section on Vestroia. So they have two similar but different aesthetics. Subterra has now been changed to Subterrus to match the rest of the other attributes. It's more earthy, dirt, muddy, but also contains plants, so we can expect some plant-based Bakugan to come out of here. Aurelus is a more refined faction, focusing more on sand, gold, and gems, so it's shinier and it still feels special like Aurelus did from Generation 2, without being that exclusive. They shine like jewels, but are just as common as the rest of the Subterrace Bakugan. Ventus. Ventus Bakugan roam around various high points in Vestroia, huge mountains so tall that they reach the sky. It's said that they go to the stars too. These Bakugan live free in the world. Some of them have a weird connection with the cosmos, while others fly and have different aspects for other regions to themselves. They're not only birds or flying things, they can be cosmic, climate-based, or even some insects. Let them amaze you with all the things they bring. Darkus. Power comes with a price, and Darkus has a lot of power. Darkus is not only the bad ones, or the demons of Vestroia anymore. Think of them more as wild magic, power with no boundaries, no limits, and of course that's got consequences. Not everyone can resist them, and this still brings a lot of evil, but the shadows can also be more comforting, bringing peace and some sacrifice. The place is more of a gothic shadow wasteland where light is absorbed so it feels like an eternal twilight, and just like the Bakugan inside, you can see an eternal cycle of power, loss, and victory. Darkness all along. So now that I have you set up with a bit of the attributes and the world, let's take a quick look at the story that's been written so far. The Core Incident. Both of the cores, the Infinity and Silent Core, which might be renamed the Void Core, we'll see, have consciousness, minds of their own. And this brings pain to the Silent Core, because he is the nothingness, the emptiness, the void, who cannot feel anything, and that makes him crazy, wanting for Millennium to be able to feel what his brother Core feels, so he schemes a plan. The only Bakugan who can get to the cores are the attributeless ones. Since they are not bound by the rules of Vestroia, they don't need to stick to any specific faction or place. Because of this, the Silent Core lures Naga with the promise that him and his sister will not be erased from the world. Bakugan tend to live really long lives, but the attributeless ones are mistakes. They're not meant to be there, so the cores wipe them out. However, before Naga gets to fuse himself with the core, Wyvern does it instead, being able to contain it partially. This starts a cataclysm in Vestroia, and to save the Bakugan, the Infinity Core creates portals to a world they can be saved. They're transported to the human world. Part 2. The Bakugan. Most of our main character Bakugan have histories which are going to be shown in one way or another. This time, it's not like in the other generations where they just exist and didn't really have anything to do with Vestroia at all. Instead, now they're going to have lives, goals, problems, just like any other character. The descriptions I'm about to give you are their brief, basic summaries, which will be expanded upon in further updates. Alright, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing some of these. I'm gonna try my best, I just don't know how they're pronounced. Kamtai. The main character's Bakugan, a Darkus hero who always tries to go for the right answer. In Vestroia, he was the chosen one to protect his tribe, but when the Silent Core incident happened, he failed to do so. And now, full of guilt, he tries his best to give all to be the hero his tribe needed. Dragonoid, a paladin of justice. He was just a guard of the Ashen Forest, taking care of the Bakugan who passed through, until one day he meets Wyvern and Naga. He had a connection with Wyvern and Naga, and they became his best friends. He tried his best to protect them, but then the incident of the Silent Core happened. Now his mission is to become the ultimate Bakugan, and use his power to save Wyvern, and maybe beat Naga? Maybe? This is going to be explored later. Ankhammer. He was a peaceful Bakugan in the ancient times. He loves life and nature, and he would have lived peacefully if it not were for the civil war happening between Subterrace and Aurelus. He didn't want to be a part of it. So, instead, he begrudgingly does his part and creates a giant mountain to hide out all the Subterrace Bakugan, so that they may live in peace. Until the Silent Core incident happens and destroyed this peace and sent him to the planet Earth. Maraka. Maraka is a shy little balloon that goes where she pleases, trying to make people happy and laugh. But she's really bad at it. making Bakugan feel worse about themselves or even scared of her weird eyes. Because of that, she wants a place to fit in and is really shy about expressing herself more. Moonsea. Moonsea was once a Darkest Bakugan. She was part of the Order of the Witches, which were 6 Bakugan, one of each attribute. They lived with a destiny in mind, each with a specific role. Moonsea's was to create chaos and destruction, so the other witches could fight it and become even stronger. But Moonsea didn't like this lifestyle. She loved life and rightfulness, so she went with her only friend, the Witch of Aquas, to find a way to change that destiny. In doing so, she turned herself into the attribute Chaos. This, however, caused her to lose the life of her only friend, and now Moonsea is hunted by the remaining witches for breaking the cycle. Falking. Falking is a cosmic Bakugan who lives in the highest point of the planet, floating like a satellite. He waits for the moment for an asteroid to pass and absorb its energy. When the Silent Core incident occurred, he fell with the same force to Earth and destroyed a lot of land. He then began to absorb and steal everything he could. Falking is prideful and egotistical, a true villain. But in the hands of a hero partner, what would that look like? Part 3. The Brawlers. Kinoko. Once a bland and empty girl, she gave her all to be the best Bakugan brawler of all time. And then, she got betrayed by a Pyrus guy, with a Dragonoid. Because of this, she is full of revenge and finally finds her personality. Being a creature of hate and spite, seeking revenge. Yeah, she tries, but in the end, she is still just a cute and reserved person who is trying to do their best. The revenge thing becomes a lie she tells herself to stay motivated, so she does not have to go back to being bland and boring. Dan. Energetic, joyful, and friendly. He is a really bad brawler at the start, but he practices hard and is unstoppable once something gets in his head. He is determined to be the strongest, and will never give up on that dream. So he fights everyone he can, and sees Kinoko as the best brawler in the city. So even if she tries to get away from him, he always comes back for another practice match, leading them to become friends. Kaigara. She is mean, selfish, and superficial, obsessed with social media and her looks. Because being a good brawler is popular and viral on the internet, she decided to pursue brawling by doing the best visual performances. Even if she loses a lot, she is ready to stomp anyone who tries to be better than her in style. This leads to a fight with her ex-best friends, ending with her wanting revenge. Cuppy. Her real name is Sancha, but she goes by Cuppy. A shy and very nervous girl, loves music, roller skating, and technology. She's really smart and a total nerd that forgets whatever is around her. She is passionate about the stuff she finds interesting, and not really that big into brawling, but loves Bakugan as a competitive game. She's mute, so she talks with sign language. At first, the main cast doesn't understand her, however her Bakugan, Moonsea, is able to translate for her. Moonsea likes to mess up translations for fun and embarrass Cuppy. Hyabetsu is angry and with a broken heart. He's an aggressive brawler, having to beat all the weaklings to prove he is strong enough. Normally he's really cold, the stereotypical lone wolf. But once he gets to spend more time with this group of brawlers, it's shown that he is actually really caring and a bit sweet. But in the end, he does not put his mask down from being the tough guy. Tomorrow. He's really smug, weird, and charismatic, even if sometimes he's too annoying. He likes adventure and having fun. Tomorrow always has a snarky comment, but his full persona hides a very, very smart person. Tomorrow is a good strategist and the best brawler of the team, at least at first. He is always coming up with new and weird ideas for a battle, so this makes him even more of a show-off. Smug, but at least he has the skill to be a show-off. Now, you're probably thinking, this does not feel like a group of heroes. They've got some off characteristics for heroes, and that's actually because they're an entire group of villains. Kind of. So they're all fighting for really bad reasons at the start, and they become a group in the first place for pretty bad reasons. But that leads to the development of them becoming heroes because of their Bakugan partners, who have more hero-like personalities and start rubbing off on the brawlers themselves. So they end up being really harsh and rude to each other at first, but their Bakugan kind of drive them to be better people. So if they're supposed to be the bad guys, then who are the actual bad guys? And that's going to be for next time. But I'm going to leave you with this. Here is Hanya with her Hydronoid. Part 4, Concept Art. So for this last section, I kind of just want to go through and take a look at some really cool concept art I was given. So let's just jump into that. Alright, so here we are in the concept folder, and I'm just going to look at these in order. We're just going to open them up and take a look at everything we have here. Alright, so here's Maraka, and we get to kind of see a brief description of her in like the early stages of development. It says, very shy, really not social creature. She likes to hide in her balloon form all the time and rarely gets out and hides in fear from a fight. In a playful way, she has huge luck to win fights by accident. Gimmick. She starts in her balloon form. This makes her survive if she loses her first match. After this, she can move to another gate card and wins a G-Power boost. So that's an interesting gimmick. So basically, she's got 2 lives. It's kind of neat. Okay. Here we have an early version of On Camera or Ain't Camera, however you pronounce it. I'll put the other version right here so you can take a look at the difference, but mostly it's just things poking out, which is really cool just to see these small differences actually go a long way to make the Bakugan look cooler. Another early version here of Comtai, so I'll also put the difference up there, but just again, super neat to see those changes. And then this is Leviton, who was the original design for the Ventus Bakugan. As you can see, we got a totally different one. I believe the feedback was this just looked too much like Skyrus and like other generic Ventus Bakugan, so they decided that it was best if they went with a brand new, fresh design. And I don't know, give me your thoughts and opinions. Do you like this one better? Do you like Leviton better? Or do you like Falking better? Because I don't know, this one looks really cool. I particularly like the purple and yellow on the neck here. And then here is his monster form as well. Let me know what you think, because I don't know. Right now we could be between both of them. I mean, Falking's really cool, but I guess I do see a lot of the Skyrus here. It does look a lot like Skyrus, so maybe not. Here is Munsi, and then again I'll put the other version up here so you can tell the difference, but this was the original design. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I like the face on this one a lot. Now that I'm like looking at it, I know the face is the same on the other version, but yeah, I really like that. I believe the change is here if I'm remembering correctly. This will all be in editing. And here's the logo. We never really got to take a good close look at the logo, but yeah, it looks really, really good. You got the key there, okay, that's always important. I love the colors. I think it's an interesting choice of colors. I would like to maybe see it in a more grungy, gritty way. I understand this is like very neon. I love the colors, but it's like very neon pop, almost thermal. But the way the story seems to be going, it's very grungy, very gritty and dark. So maybe like a beat up version of this, where it's like more graffiti-esque, not quite Generation 3, but grunge. I'd like to see that just to see if it matches the vibe of the concept art better. Here we have Munsi. So she used to be a darkest Bakugan, but changed from the power of darkness for the good of forces of light. Okay, so we knew that from her story. She changed because she didn't want to be darkest anymore. She brings justice with the magic of moonlight. Gimmick. If she wins a fight, she stays on the field until another fight occurs. She can join the fight and add her G-Power to the fight, but she cannot get any G-Power boosts. Okay. Very interesting. So we're already kind of starting to see these Bakugan have like their attribute gimmicks, which is already really cool to see. Like they've already got parts of a game like put in, right? This one's Commentai, so I think Commentai, I don't know. Okay, hang on. So Commentai is this one. I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, maybe they changed it. Okay. A hero wannabe with the magic of darkness, he can create various gadgets to change the course of the battle. With a legacy to make proud of, he needs to be the next hero that Vestroia needs. Gimmick. He can draw an ability card every time he fights a Bakugan with more G-Power than him. That's useful. That's really useful power. I like that. Nice. Here we have some quick sketches of a couple of the characters like interacting and stuff. You can see they're fighting. Obviously they don't like each other in the first half of it, so I think that's interesting to see. Here's Tomorrow looking smug. It looks like this is Dan right here dragging her. Very cool. I just love the little sketches. It's great. The expressions are good. I'm not sure who this is. This person was not labeled. I wonder if it's going to be like a villain, like an actual villain that they fight, or it was the concept art for another character. Not sure, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. It's a cool looking character. It looks like a Chaos Brawler, maybe. Got some more like facial expressions and stuff, which I think really brings the characters to life. I love the little rock-on hands. It's great. This is Cuppy with Moonsy here, so obviously Cuppy can't talk, and so Moonsy's talking for her. And it's like, oh no, what is she saying? And then Moonsy's like, yeah, I've got you, don't worry. And they're like mimicking each other. That's really cute. I love that. Alright, got some more of the boys here, it looks like. Awesome. Just kind of hanging out, running. Love it. Another character here. This is clearly a Subterra Brawler. I love the different colored eyes. That is great. It's almost like Egyptian-esque. I wonder if this will be someone with like an Auralist style Bakugan, maybe? Love it. Got a little teardrop there. That's interesting. I never noticed this when I first looked. Different, oh, like the different earrings for the eyes. Okay. Got that as well. Huh. So yeah, I don't know, like I said, I don't know who these brawlers are. They weren't really labeled for me, so it's a mystery to all of us for now. Another character here who's not done. I love his little slippers. It looks, it kind of reminiscent of Marucho, but not 100%. That's really cool, though. I wonder what he would be. My guess is Ventus. I don't know why, but I'm thinking Ventus. This looks like an early sketch of Dan, for sure. You can just tell by the face and the goggles on the top of his head, his sunglasses, whatever they are. And here we have the Masquerade villain, okay, right here. Love the design. Looks good. It's almost like a ninja or some kind of like Japanese style fighter with the way the outfit looks. Really nice. I showed this earlier as well. We have Ankhammer, the Unbreakable Shield. So this is a hot-headed old Bakugan, a little lonelier, but he really likes company. But not to make him angry, but don't make him angry because his tail is devastating and his armor is unbreakable. Gimmick: during a stand, for every Bakugan that gets moved to another gate card, he gets a boost in his G power. This counts for allies and enemies, even himself. Oh. So he's just like an old school Bakugan, that's nice. Here's Levitant, so we don't really see Falking, but we can see Levitant. So a giant sky serpent with a royal and bit cocky personality. Very serious, but also impatient, ready to domain the skies. So this, obviously the cocky part we see transfer over to Falking too. Gimmick: once per fight, he can move to another portal card and doubles the G power that anyone gets in that card. If he wins the fight, he can go to another card instead of rolling again. Oh, that's very Ventus. That is so very Ventus. So that was all of the concept art. Let me know what was your favorite out of all of these. And that was Bakugan Ignition, which I personally find to be a very fantastic concept for Bakugan. I really like the idea that they start off as villains and kind of gain the hero role or get involved in the hero role. And the designs for the characters, spot on. The Bakugan were great, the characters were great, the art style is fantastic. I'm in love with it. So if this is something that interests you or even inspires you, I would love to hear your ideas and thoughts down in the comments below. Share your ideas because, of course, this could be a really big project. This is something that the community could really latch onto and make into this really neat idea. We could make manga and animations and more fan art and all this stuff to make it happen. So why not make it happen, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more awesome content. My name is Jesse, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out!